Hi, today's short video is to help us understand what a use case test technique is and how we actually create that to enable enough test coverage in our test process. Okay, so first of all, the official description of the use case is a detailed description of how an end user or primary actor interacts with a system to achieve a specific goal. So what does that actually mean? So basically a use case is just a representation of those actions that a user would perform on a system to achieve a purpose. So for example, I want to order on an e-commerce system. So I'm more focused and the focus is more of the order fulfillment process. So basically the use case will capture those actions step by step, things I'm able to do on that system for that purpose. So that's basically what use case does, and the graphical representation of this. Okay, so as a tester, it's very important to understand that you have to always maintain high test coverage. So that's why it's so important that we consider all the types of documentation that is related to a specific project to derive our test cases. Remember, as a tester, we need to ensure that we understand quality and we have quality in mind each time we test. Okay, so deriving test cases is not just only about referring to the requirement. There are also other technical documentations that you could also refer to get more test cases, generate more test scenarios, and have strong familiarity of the project or the software that you're testing. So in the next video, I will show you a short example of what a use case diagram is, and also an example of how you can derive the test cases from a use case. Okay, so this is a typical example of a use case technique. It's quite simple. You too can master and learn it. All right, and thanks.
Of what a use case diagram does look like. So a few things to note. We have the actors. The actors are labeled in this diagram as the customer and the agent. They have the names of a, a human, right? So that's what you get for the actors. And then you have the actions. So the actions are those actions that they can perform on the system. So in this scenario, the system itself is actually an online account, okay? So the customer, who is the first actor, can perform these three actions on their account. So first of all, they can apply for a new account, they can set credit limit, and they can track the application, okay? Then secondly, the agent. The agents can review the application from the system. They can request documentation and approve or reject application. So as you can see, it's quite simple, and you can see the actions are not too detailed and they're very straight to the point. So this is a typical example of what you would get in a use case diagram. And now we need to put this into test cases. So from our test case example here, I've split them into two main um, test conditions, right? So what the customer can do and what the agent does. And this forms our test cases. As you can see, they are not fully completed. So I've left this up to this level to enable us to add to the test cases um, if we want to. So that will help us to master the technique of creating test cases and also learn how to come up with our own scenarios. So if we go back to the previous example, previous the test use case diagram, remember the customer has a few actions they can do. So in this test case, we cover those two scenarios. So first action, one of the scenarios is to open a new account. We've covered that. That's test ID 1, and then the expected result from the system would be the account is opened and awaiting approval. Then secondly, customer can set credit limit, and in this instance the credit limit set and awaiting approval. And then thirdly, agents, these are the scenarios from the agent actor in the use case diagram. This is what the agent does on the system. So test ID 3, the agent reviews customer application. The expected result, application is under review. And lastly, the agents approve customer application, and then expected result, applications are approved with customer account open. So this is an example of a high level test case. If you were to write a test script or write a detailed test case in this instance, like test ID 1, you obviously have to go up to a low level where you identify what the customer ID is. So the customer ID, for example, 123 logged in with username ABC, password ABC. They've accessed a social system called system AXYZ on social platform or on social website, and they clicked on social link to go onto a new application tab. It's a total test procedure. If you were to expand on each of the test ID, you have sets of instructions of how to achieve each of the test cases. So this is a high level test case, okay? But I want us to come up with at least two more scenarios. So one more for the customer account, for the customer action, and then one more for the agent action, okay? So please share your comments in this video, or if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. And we're also training people in the ISTQB certified tester course, which is the foundation level software testing course. So if you're interested, go on our website, which is www.learnsoftwaretestng.com, and register. Thanks for now. Bye.